In this video, I'm going to show you some of the best ways that I've found to install a camera and keep the wires completely hidden. Now in this video, I'm using an Eave, and I'm going to show you how I hide the wires perfectly under an Eave. But if you don't have an Eave, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks along the way that might help you. This is Rudy from the Home Improvement Channel with another video showing you how to fix things around the house. If you're a subscribed member to my community, then welcome back. If you're new to my channel, consider clicking that subscribe button below, and please like this video if it was helpful for you. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive right in. Most cameras have the wire coming through the middle right here. Okay, like this, it comes right through the middle so that you can screw it up to the Eave, and the wire goes up through the Eave, and you don't or wherever you're screwing it to, and you don't see any wires. But this type of camera, the wire comes out the back. So if you have one like this, and this is what you want to use, you could put this real close to the edge right here and wire tie it against that, and then run it, through here so that there's a minimum of wire exposed right there. So if you don't have an Eave to work with, or that's not what your situation is, but you do have vinyl siding, this is block, so that's not going to help, but if you have vinyl siding, you can find the end of the siding, it's going to look something like this, and grab it and pull it away so that you can get underneath of it and mount the camera. This is not mounted, of course, but you can screw the camera to the wall there, and if your wire comes out the bottom like I showed you earlier, you can run that wire underneath the vinyl siding to wherever you need to go with it. Now if you're clear on the other side of the house, a lot of vinyl siding will have a J channel like this, and you can run that wire, say if you're down here, you can run that wire up to the J channel and then use the J channel to go across the house instead of peeling the siding up all the way around the house. That's another way that I've used to hide wires before, especially for like satellite installations. Corners, the corners are a great place to hide wires and stuff like that. Now, go away with that. I'm thinking here. I don't care. I'm thinking here. You're bothering me. Now, what if your house has got foam underneath the vinyl siding and you don't have anything to screw to? Okay, so that's a problem. A lot of houses will have plywood underneath the vinyl siding. Then you can pretty much put the camera anywhere you want to and have something to screw to, but a lot of houses have foam as well. So what you have to do in that case is peel the siding up enough so you can see what's going on and find a stud in the wall. You can see where the staples are on the foam and screw the camera where the stud is. That way you have something to attach the camera to and it's not going to fall down in 2 weeks. One more thing you could do is if you have your camera close by to your receiver box or your DVR box, you can run the wire, say if it's up high, you can run it down to a lower level to where your DVR box is at. If your DVR box happens to be on an outside wall, you can drill straight through the house into through the drywall. Just make sure you don't hit any wires or pipes or anything like that. And I'll show you when I go to the inside part of the install what kind of plate I use on the wall, and you can do that. Just run it straight through the wall, and I've done that many times with satellite wires. It doesn't hurt a thing. Okay, so that's about all the tips and tricks I have for now. We're going to do the install underneath this soffit, and if you notice, it's pretty flimsy right here, so I can't exactly screw the camera to that because it'll be the same thing I just told you with the vinyl siding, and it'll stay up for about 2 weeks until the first thunderstorm, and then it'll fall down. So what we're going to have to do is open this up so I can put a block of wood back here, and I'll have something to screw to. To do that, I got to pull these nails out of this fascia, aluminum right here, so that I can pull this back and get this to drop down. Then I can remove 1 or 2 panels, and then I can access everything to put the wood there, to feed the wire over the block wall and into the attic and whatnot. So let's get started.
Okay, so to get these nails out, if you push up on the fascia a little bit, sometimes you can expose a little gap behind the nail head. and carefully and slowly pull those out. You don't want to pull those out too fast or you can bend up the aluminum. So just pull that back a little bit once you get all your nails out, and that soffit material should almost drop down on its own. But if they have some staples in there, it's not very, they're not very strong. So just give them a little tug and that should come down and those panels will slide right out. So one thing I also want to do here is tape the end of the wire to these fiberglass rods I have right here. I'll post a link in the description so you can see what I'm talking about. But the reason I'm doing this is when I push that wire up over the wall, if I just do it by hand, it's going to be close to the roof line. And I don't want that, okay, because I'll have to get down there with my face in the insulation to retrieve those wires. So these rods are 4 feet long, and there's 3 of them that screw together, so I got 12 feet. If I tape the wire to the rods, I can feed that up there and get 12 feet away from that wall, so it's much easier to retrieve that like that. Okay? The other thing I want to do is stretch that wire out straight. You probably can't see it because of the grass, but the wire is stretched out all the way. That way, when I'm pulling the wire from inside the attic, it's not out here getting all tangled up when I can't see what's going on. Here's another helpful tip for you. Okay, so I'm going to pass this over top of the insulation. I have found to be a little bit easier. You can try to pass it under the insulation if you want, but with the angle, it's easier to go over top. And just keep that wire, or you might hit a few things up in the attic because you can't see what kind of beams or trusses or anything is up there. And as you can see, here's the attic view of it. Those fiberglass rods have a tendency to sag down, so I'm kind of fighting against the insulation right there. But it works great. It really does. Just keep on working it up there and push it as far as you can. You might have to work it back and forth a little bit to get it past some of the beams up in there. So I'm going to go up in the attic and pull the rest of the wire up in there. Here's me retrieving the rod. It's much closer to the attic entrance than it is to the edge of the wall there. And just go ahead and detach that from the rods, and then you're free to pull the rest of the wire up that you need. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my board right here to put up in the soffit. I'm only screwing it down on the fascia side right here. The other side is block. It's only holding up a camera, so it's no big deal. And then I'm putting one panel back. I'm leaving the other panel out so that I can access the camera connections and all that stuff. So make sure you drill a hole that's big enough. I think 3/4 is about what I'm drilling right here, and that's a pretty good size for that, to accommodate the connectors and stuff to go through there. Okay, I got everything through there. Just kind of screw the camera down. I apologize, this part of the video was overexposed and a little bit blown out, but you get the idea of what I'm doing. I'm just screwing the camera to the block of wood. Now these will go right back. They'll slide back in together like that. And then once you push that fascia back down, you can add some nails. Okay, so this is the kind of wall plate that I like to use right here. I use this for TV stuff, for cables, for whatever, anything low voltage. It works really good. You take one of these orange guys right here and you trace it out in the wall and cut out your drywall. I don't want to show you that because I've already got a hole established here. I installed these cameras some time ago, and now I'm back installing more cameras. But that's all it is this goes in the wall. This stays open right here, and then the white cover goes on top of it. I'll post a link in the description to these parts right here so you can see what it is. But I'm going to pull this back off and expose the orange part, and then I'm going to go up top to drill a hole in the top of the wall. Now, if you don't already have a hole established in your wall, you can measure off of common reference points like a door or a wall or something like that, or a wire that's going through the top of the wall that goes to a plug.
Anything like that can be used as a reference so that you know exactly where to measure at, because you want to drill your hole in the same stud bay as your hole in the drywall, so you're not up on the in the attic making 5 holes before you find the right one. So those are things that you do need to know. One other thing I wanted to mention here is this camera system uses video and power with these wires. Now, a lot of you guys out there are buying the wireless cameras, but those wireless cameras still need a wire run to them for the power. They're just wireless on the video part, okay? So you still got to go through all this trouble to get the power wire where you need it. You can run it up into the attic and install a plug up in the attic or whatever, but you still got to run these power wires. Now, I wouldn't give you a nickel for the ones that are totally battery powered and totally wireless, because you'll be changing batteries on those things all the time, because how's it going to work with a battery? It's got to run all the time, so it's not going to last. So the better ones are the ones that have the power running to the camera, but the video is wireless. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But anyway, let me remove this, and then I'll pick this back up in the attic and show you up there what I'm talking about. All right, so as you can see here, here's where the other 4 wires go right through. Now, when you're done drilling the holes, it's a good idea to go back and take some fire-blocking orange spray foam and fill these holes up. The reason is it keeps the draft out of the wall, between the ceiling and the wall. So it's a good idea to not leave these holes just wide open at the top like that, okay? I believe the 2x4 is on this side, right? So I'm going to drill over here. This hole is already full with these 4 wires. So like I said before, you're going to have to measure and figure out where the top of your wall is, but you can always see the 2x4 where the top of the wall is, unless the wall was put in after and it was a remodel. Then they might have put the top of the wall under the existing drywall, so that's something to keep in mind too. Okay, so let's just go ahead and drill this out. And be careful when you're drilling. If there's any wires penetrating the wall nearby, like right here, and you're drilling here, there's a chance that that wire goes underneath and curls this way, and then when you drill it, you're going to hit that wire. So that's something to be cautious of when you're drilling into a top plate like this, is don't drill real close to any existing wires, especially power wires, because that happened to me once. I drilled right into a power wire, and it was quite a bit of work to fix it back. And a lot of times that top is double plated, so it takes extra time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drop my first camera wire down there. And another tip is to make the hole big enough for the amount of wires that you need to accommodate. And also drop one set of wires at a time. I found that if you try to drop multiple wires down through the same wall cavity, you're going to wind up getting them all tangled up inside the wall because you can't see what's going on. And it's just going to make a big mess. Let's see if we can find it. There it is right there. Why, that's perfect. The fire blocking stuff is orange. It's that Greatstuff spray foam. And it works really well for this. All right, and just cover your area back up that you're working on. And that's it, okay? So I hope I've given you some tips. I know your installation is going to be a little bit different, but this is how my installation went, and it went very well. Thanks for watching.